Hello, 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 beautiful people. Welcome back to Career Gems for the Journey Live with me, your host, Leah C. Murphy. So I'm really excited to be here. And I am just going to be honest. I hope I'm not the only one who is fighting for their life this cold and flu season, because I am fighting for my life this cold and flu season. All of the precautions have been taken, and yet and still it is dragging me. My entire household has been passing around all kinds of things for the last couple of weeks, and I am fighting for my life. I am happy that I'm here, and I'm happy that you're here. For anybody who is joining me live, please do drop your city in the chat. I would love to be able to shout you out and acknowledge you. I love to catch the vibe for who's with us live. If you are listening on the replay, I got vibes for you too. I love it for you, and I also love it for me that you're able to participate and join me on the replay. I really appreciate you all for being there. So if you're live, please do make sure you drop your city in the chat. I will make sure to shout you out. We are deep into our series of really, pause the work, right? Pause the work and go make yourself some professional friends. Really go make yourself some work friends so that you do not have to operate as an individual, as an island, because it's very hard. It's very difficult to see what you want to see in your career when you're working for a large organization and doing that by yourself. Also, as an entrepreneur, when you are trying to get something over the finish line, many of us have to tap in and bring in a network of people to be able to address our lack of knowledge or expertise in other areas. I am so self-aware that I can say there are things I'm really great at, but there's things that I am terrible at. And I try to make sure that I build a network of people within my organization to address the areas where I'm just not good. There's some things that I will do to get better. I will learn. I'm constantly trying to be voracious and learning new things. But ultimately, there are just some things that I'm not good at and are not a good use of my time and skills. So I want to bring people in and pay people to do the things that they're really good at that's going to add value to my business. And the same thing applies in corporate, right? Spending the time in corporate America, in nonprofit leadership, in academia, in federal government, all of the places where we give our energy or we give our experiences require us to recognize when we need to bring in other people's expertise and support. And that's really what this series is getting after, right? It's an opportunity for you to give yourself permission to stop trying to do everything yourself. Stop trying to figure out all of the angles alone. Hire or collaborate or work with other people so that you can get better at your thing that you're great at, your zone of genius. You can get better there, and then you guys can collaborate and work together to really knock this thing out of the park. So I'm going to continue the series, but you guys know that I have updates. You see the Triumph in the Trenches visual that's up here on the screen. It's the cover of the book. The book is available for pre-sale right now. You can go to my website at gemsforthejourney.org to grab your copy of the book, gemsforthejourney.org/triumphs. So that's for those who are here with me live and on the screen and can see it on the screen. For anyone who is listening on the replay, you can actually scan the QR code. If you're watching this on your computer, take your phone, scan the QR code, go grab your copy. We have already sold 20 copies on pre-order, and the pre-order just began last week. So I'm really, really excited for that. Go and grab your copy now. You will get a signed copy from me if you grab it while it's still on pre-order. And we're hoping to get those books shipping before the end of the month. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we'll be able to do that, and they'll be printed and available for you to get into the mail and into your hands before the end of the month. But I will keep you updated. Right now, we're still in the pre-order phase. So go grab your copy. Triumph in the Trenches, an anthology really focusing on navigating success for Black professionals, has been such an insightful experience for me. And I had a great conversation with one of my co-anthologists yesterday on the Career Gems for the Journey podcast. You guys are going to be so blown away by these podcast episodes that are coming with my co-anthologists. This is really a community of just talented, brilliant, across the whole spectrum, whether it's healthcare, whether it's military, whether it's corporate America, federal employees, doctors. I mean, you name it, these anthologists are bringing the heat. You do not want to miss the opportunity to have a real honest perspective from this kind of a treasure trove of people, I'm just completely impressed. So take advantage, grab your copy of Triumph in the Trenches. And what it reminded me of is this series that we're talking about, which is focusing on pausing the work and go make some professional friends. The anthology has forced me to actually do exactly what I'm encouraging you all to do, which is do the work, make some professional friends, put yourself in a position where people can find you so that you can improve and grow in a way that you didn't even realize you needed to grow. Some in ways you totally were aware of, and then other in ways that you just weren't aware you needed to grow in that area. And the anthology has been great for me in that regard. So please do go grab a copy. This is going to be a shorter live because we've gone into all of the departments in this series that are in a corporate institution, and there are a couple that are still left, and those that are left are ones that I feel like are easier for us to kind of wrap our head around. And that's why we're going to just spend a few minutes here talking about these last few departments that I find to be equally as valuable, but normally they're concepts and people that are easier to access. So we don't need as much of the detail in the examples in my experience. But if that's not true and you're like, no, Leah, take your time. Take your time, go deeper. I want all the examples. I want all the texture. Tell me, drop that in the comments or send me a DM after the fact and let me know. I wanted to hear more. I wanted to get all of the texture that you gave in the earlier ones. Don't skimp out on me. Tell me, hold me accountable. So the first one is one that feels a little bit challenging for a lot of folks. And I think I want to reiterate one because I think we talked about HR, we talked about human resources. And then I got some folks that reached out and said, like, listen, HR are the police in corporate America. HR function as the police in corporate America, and I'm not looking to collab with them. I don't fool with them people. And I'm here to tell you that your lived experience is absolutely valid and true. If that's the way that you see it, HR can absolutely be used in an organization to do things that are not supportive of you growing in your career. They can also be people who you are able to partner with and collaborate with in your organization if the right ones are available. So I just want to tell you that sometimes people have really strong feelings about HR, and I have had my own professional experience where HR have literally been the worst functional department to work with, added no value, almost like were completely irrelevant. But I've also worked in companies where HR was so clutch, so key to me knowing the insights for how to grow my career, key to me knowing what the narrative was about me and other parts of the organization, and allowing me to then deal with that narrative in a positive way of, take advantage, leverage that, you're perceived in a way that's going to be good for you and you'll be able to grow your career. And also you just don't have the support of leaders in your organization in order to move you to the next level, but they're never going to tell you that. Right? So the fact of the matter is HR is always in the room, whether it's just a CYA, they bring them in the room. And if they just want to cover their ass and make sure that they are not doing anything that's going to get them in bigger trouble, they will bring HR into the room for that. And also there's times where HR is they're leading the discussion. So I just want to reiterate, two things can be true. They can be trash and you can still leverage them and build a relationship. They can be amazing and then you could miss out on the opportunity for working with people who are amazing. Two things can be true at the same time. It's very difficult to advance your career professionally, especially in corporate America, if you have no relationship with anyone in HR at all. So maybe you find the one or two people who are decent. That requires you to do some work. That requires a little bit more effort. I understand that. I know what I'm asking you to do. Ultimately, who's worth the effort? Whose career is worth the effort? Yours. Yours is. So if you put the time in and you get the return on your investment, wasn't it all worth it in the end? Right. So that's our HR touch on. I also wanted to just talk about, we don't really give a whole lot of love to some of the other technical fields, which can be quality and regulatory, people who are the final decision makers as to whether or not your product gets released. your product goes out to the market. So quality and regulatory, those people know exactly where all of the bodies are buried. They know where all of the bodies are buried as far as cost or failures that are happening overall in your organization, because they're the ones who decide whether or not that product goes out the door, whether or not that code gets released, whether or not that package can get mailed to the consumer. They know. Quality and regulatory, they have all of the bodies buried. They know exactly where they are. They know how much it costs. They may not know how much it costs down to the dollar, but they certainly can tell you the course of events for when important things have happened in your organization. Again, this is not because you want to become someone who sits in that part of the organization. This is because you want to have broad understanding of how the company that you're working for right now is performing. You know how they perform. You understand where the pain points are. That allows you to decide, do I want to take an opportunity to go deeper in this organization, to take a cross-functional role in this organization? You're gathering information through building relationships, and you're providing information in these relationships. So quality and regulatory, also our friends in R&D, research and development, they know where the seeds are being planted, where the big bets are for the organization going forward. So those big bets may look like we're betting on this product, we're betting on this innovation, we're betting on a line extension, we're betting on some other really significant change. So it really does make a huge difference by you having relationships with people who sit in the research and development space. Anything that you're doing that's going to be innovative, that's going to drive a significant change in the business, folks at R&D are aware of, they're working on it. So that's intel that you can use. So I also want to make sure that I encourage folks to think about R&D, regulatory, and quality. They're all information seeking opportunities. And then we have those who tend to get a lot of attention, a lot of sizzle, a lot of bang for the buck. And those are the folks who are in marketing and sales. So marketing and sales, depending on the type of organization you work in, marketing has a lot of power in your organization. In my experience, I've worked for 10 plus years in consumer goods. Working in consumer goods, they are brand-led companies. They are marketing-led companies. So now if you understand the pecking order is marketing and then everybody else, and you don't sit in that marketing function, it is to your own advantage to make sure that you know someone in that function so you can hear directly from them before it impacts you, that these are the things that we're working on. These are the big bets. These are our investments. These are the partnerships that we're looking at. These are the influencers that we're going to collaborate with. These are the new ads and promotions that we're bringing forward that are going to drive more business. These are the targeted relationships that we're looking for. These are the ... fill in the blank. So make yourself a friend who worked in marketing, especially if you work in a consumer goods company or a tech company. There's lots and lots and lots of dollars that get flooded into that part of the organization. So if you don't follow the money, marketing is typically where the money is being sent in order to grow your business. Having a great marketing organization that is capable, that's qualified to do the work, that comes from a digital marketing standpoint. When you're thinking about social media and you're thinking about ads, that comes from your traditional kind of Super Bowl ad marketing type. Those are the people who are really helping to drive the organization, and they cost a lot of money. So when you cost a lot of money, you have to bring a lot of value to the organization. It requires it to be that way and to be that kind of an exchange. So make you a friend in marketing. And then the last one is in sales. And we're going to close out this series. And the reason why I like to remind people about sales is actually speaking to your customers. So if sales is having great conversation with your customers, that means your customer is buying, and that means things are going well. If you are not having good relationships and conversations, if your salespeople are saying, listen, we're not getting received well, we're having issues, nobody's returning our calls, that's an early indicator that performance is not going to be where it needs to be, and that's going to hit the bottom line sooner than later. And you got to figure that out, and whether or not that's worth you digging into and learning more about. Now, again, this is something that you guys can go throughout all of 2024. We talked about 12 different parts of the organization that I want you to pause your work in your individual silo and go make some professional friends in these areas. And I'm really encouraging you to think about this for 2024, 2025, and beyond. Because if you're going to give your talents, you're going to give your capability to an organization for a period of time in a mutually beneficial arrangement, if you're going to give that time to an employer, the more you know about that organization, where their priorities are and where they're spending their money and where they're trying to make big changes or address issues, the better off you'll be. So we talked about 12 different functions. I'm going to run back the list of 12. If you guys are like, man, Leah, you went through this all through this series and it's been multiple different sessions and I'm just catching up to this one, please go back and watch the previous lives. Whether you stream it, whether you listen to it, whether you decide you want to treat it like a podcast and you're just going to play it while you're doing your other chores, make it happen. Because I went through 12 functions. I'm going to run down those 12 functions, but I really want you guys to go back and listen to all of the previous lives. So the first one is executive admins, and they're first for a reason. You want to know more detail? It's because they literally are the lifeblood of the organization. They have power and influence that is silent and that is often untapped. Legal should go without saying. Finance, investor relations. Investor relations was a sleeper. I got a lot of feedback on investor relations, a lot of comments there. Communications was the other group. Somebody who works in communications that focus on internal comms and your external comms. Very important people to know as you're thinking about pausing your work and going to make some professional friends. The other folks are HR, supply chain and operations, engineering, quality and regulatory, our friends in R&D, marketing, and sales. So it's 12 different departments. So you can say once a month in the next 12 months, or you can combine a couple of them to get through the list of building relationships with people in these functions before you get out of 2024. Because I'm telling you, the more information you have about what these other people are doing and where their priorities are, in addition to what you're doing in your silo, now you have a true understanding of what's happening in your organization, and you can make some informed decisions on how to move forward with that organization, or if you decide to take your talents to South Beach, as LeBron says. So I want to make sure that we take the opportunity to think through this and to really feel the effort that you are going to invest in yourself in this season. When I say pause the work, it's because we can get on a hamster wheel and there will always be more work to do. There will always be more effort we can put into problem solving or solutioning or adding value to the organization. And I'm saying do that, but do it in a way that's going to allow you some capacity to build these professional relationships. Because when you're performing is only part of you really understanding and really being seen in your organization. The relationship part is equally as valuable as your performance. So Carla Harris, who y'all know I absolutely love, performance currency is one part of the equation. Relationship currency is another part of the equation that you must invest in if you want to grow in your career. Now, you might be saying, all right, Leah, I'm not looking to grow. I'm not trying to push any buttons. I'm trying to chill. I'm burnt out because 2020, 2021, 2022, all of it has been a lot. And you are right. It has absolutely been a lot. It has taken a lot from all of us. And I personally took a break from all of the things in order to get myself into a place where my well-being and my overall health was in a good place, because I was completely burned out by the first part of 2021, 2022, 2020 post-pandemic. So I'm here for you taking a break. If that's what you need in this season, I want you to have it. Even if you're deciding you want to take a break and you're not trying to grow in your career, potentially you're thinking about, how do I want to make sure that I am investing my own money and resources so that I can have the financial independence to take that break or to pursue entrepreneurship in a really thoughtful way. The more you know about the organization that you're in now will help you to decide how those investments should move. And it'll also help you to know when the timing might be right for you to make a significant change. So I just want you to have the information that you need to make the best decisions for you. And ultimately, only you can know if you're ready to put your foot on the gas and grow in this organization, look for promotions and new opportunities, or if it's time for you to start strategizing what you're going to do outside of the organization, whether you want to leave and go to another company, or whether or not you want to start your own thing. Ultimately, having relationships in each one of these functions will serve you no matter what. It'll serve you no matter what your next phase in your career is. So I want to encourage you to think about it that way. If you're not trying to put your foot on the gas and you've decided that spending time in this organization is no longer where you're going to invest, I respect that and I'm here for it. Having a good understanding of what all these people do and how that may impact you in the future as far as you running a business can absolutely be a game changer. And I'm speaking from my own experience there. So it's been great. I appreciate you riding with me. It looks like, my brother James Bumpus is here with us live, and he has commented to let me know that he appreciates the floating book and the sentiment. So thank you. I appreciate you being here with me live, James. Always appreciate your support. And then I also wanted to just shout out all my other anthologists who have been following me on LinkedIn and collaborating with me in the background. It's been amazing. I'm loving just growing, learning with all of you. And I will close with this. I made a huge announcement earlier this week that Career Gems for the Journey just graduated its first cohort of executive leaders. And it has been completely a labor of love. I've been keeping it for about 8 months and building the cohort program and then actually sending people through it. It has been such an immense undertaking to really shepherd people's professional development. And I have just a tremendous amount of respect for the leaders who participated in the program. And I also have a lot of respect for the leaders who made the investment. When I think about really impactful leaders in an organization, it's the ones who see you need something, see you need to be developed, and then put their money where their mouth is and do the work to invest in your development. That's how you know you're valued in an organization. Leaders that I've had an opportunity to collaborate with behind the scenes. We're going to have some really exciting announcements coming out in the next week or so, collaborating with those leaders. And I'm going to be able to work with them again over the next couple of years, which is just the most gratifying. Not only that I get to do work that I love, that I'm passionate about, but I get to do it with people that value that perspective and with people who are willing to compensate me appropriately for it. It's just dreams realized. So if you didn't see that post, head over to my LinkedIn page. Shout out to all the people who are going to come in the next couple of weeks. You guys are going to start to see those certificates of the people who participated in the program showing up on my LinkedIn page because I just really want to acknowledge all of them with their permission. And I'm still riding that high. Even though this cold and flu season, I'm fighting for my life. I'm riding the high of the experience that we had with the situation this past week. So really excited to be able to share that with you all. And as Triumph in the Trenches is a resource for professionals, for Black professionals, all of this works together. If you want to stay in the organization, if you want to stay in corporate America, academia, if you want to stay wherever you choose nonprofit leadership, getting yourself the resource of Triumph in the Trenches to really to guide your perspective as you choose to grow your own career can be a game changer for you. We came together as a group of anthologists in order to tell not only our experiences, but really leave breadcrumbs for those who are coming through the organizations and through these institutions. Um, my co my co-author or my co-anthologist, Nicole Vick, is called Triumph in the Trenches, the Green Book, today's Green Book for Black professionals. And I 100% agree with that. I love that. And I want to make sure that you all feel like you have the opportunity to grab that. So I want you to do that as soon as you can. So it's been amazing with you riding with me. I appreciate seeing you all here today. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be with you next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It has been amazing, and I'll see you then.